Hello and welcome to week 11 in a 12-week half marathon training series. Here I am then, out for just an easy jog. It's early on a Wednesday morning, so there's not many people about, and I've come out running along the coast, which is always very pleasant. Quite chilly this morning, but it's alright, it's okay. Decent warm up, and here we go. So week 11, what's this week going to hold? Well, really it's my last full week of training, so I'm going to have perhaps a couple of kind of slower runs this week, and then also longer weekend run. See what I do there, find out later in this video.
Really
and that's sort of going to be it. I think next week I'm probably just going to have just a slow run, a bit like this one, probably kind of midweek sometime, and then it'll be the event. So that's all coming up in next week's video. It's getting painfully close now.
Am I too far gone? Does the good mean there must be something more? Bring me back.
There we are. Run complete. And let's stick the times up on the screen. I did about, I don't know, 5.5k did I? I'm still recording in miles, so I think it was 3.33 when I stopped, very precise. And that's all right, that's fine for an early morning run. Yeah, definitely had a longer walk this morning just to kind of warm up a bit, and I'm gonna have a nice brisk walk back because it is still a bit parky. So there we are then. It's so close to the event, and I'm starting to think about all the practicalities of how I'm going to kind of organise myself, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when I do my next run later in this video. But for now, I'm thinking of the music, the entertainment, possibly the podcast as I take my run. And you've probably noticed that I always have these kind of white earphones stuck in. These are AirPods, and I've had these for years. In fact, I had these when I started Couch to 5k, so even way back in the Couch to 5k videos. I've got these AirPods, and they're the same ones, so they've lasted really well because that was 4.5 years ago. So, but they're definitely starting, I think the battery is starting to show its age now, which, you know, these things do, all things with batteries do have that problem after a while. And when I did my long run last Sunday, which was 9 miles, they did last out. They lasted the whole run, but I think that one went after 6 or 7 miles or something, and I only had this one. And unfortunately, hang on, which here? Oh no, that's my more deaf ear. So I can't remember which is my kind of more deaf ear than the other one. I think it's that one, so that's good that one lasted. I can't remember, I was just nucked on my nutcase. So I'm thinking of maybe using some wired headphones on the actual event, because I will be running longer. And I know some events are a bit funny about things like that. They don't want you to have any kind of strings or anything. I think One Bournemouth are a little bit more relaxed about stuff like that, but I'm going to have to check in the book of words. Of course, what I might do, and what I've done with other events in the past out there, is to not listen to anything. I do partly, especially when I first start, and then after that, just kind of listen to the crowds and the support and you know, the atmosphere. I mean, these are not noise cancelling. I wouldn't ever wear noise cancelling headphones for the reason that you do want to hear a bit about what's going on, and when you're out for a run like this, you want to hear cars coming and that kind of thing. So yeah, but anyway, that's just a small practical thing, and that's kind of where my mind is at the moment, thinking about that practical side. But there's more important things, such as how am I actually going to get there, that I need to be concerning myself with, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. For this challenge, I'm raising money for Hearing Dogs for Deaf People, an amazing charity that trains assistance dogs for hard of hearing and deaf members of the community so they can lead a normal life. The dogs can alert their owners to sounds around the house and out and about, as well as being an all-important companion and enabling them to leave loneliness behind. Anything you can give will be gratefully received by the charity. Thank you so much for all your support. And thank you so much to everyone who's donated. I really appreciate it. It was so kind. Every penny, in fact, I had a donation in dollars. So every penny, every cent really makes a difference. In fact, it costs, I believe, £25,000 to train up a hearing dog. So it's a lot of money, but really you might think, oh, it's just a drop in the ocean then, your donation, but it's not, because I'm a strong believer in the fact that lots of little things really add up to a bigger whole. Does that make any sense? Anyway, you know what I mean. Whole with a W, not an H. So yeah, thank you so much. It really does. Thank you from me, and thank you very much from Hearing Dogs.
Is where I find you. Different kinds of moments, measured out in scars, where you showed me.
Right, it's a few days after my last run, and this is my very last long run of my half marathon training, so I want to make it count. I will do probably one more run before the event, but this really is it. Now, last week I did 9 miles. If I was following the program, the week whatever it was, 10 would have been the longest run, and week 11 you start to kind of pull things back a bit. So on the program, which incidentally, if you still want to follow, there's a link in the video description below. On there I'd only be doing maybe 7 miles today, but I kind of think I want to go out, run slow and steady. I've been going about half an hour so far, and I've done about 2 3/4 miles, I think. Let's have a look. Oh, 2.89. So that's not bad, and I've been going for 30 minutes. So that is slow, but that's just what I want really, just kind of slow and steady, and I'll sort of just see how I feel really today. I'd be kind of pleased if I could get 9 miles in, the same as I did last week, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. I've been so looking forward to coming out today, and yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the scenery, run around a bit, and see what happens. There we are, run complete. Let's not beat around the bush, let's put the times up on the screen. And yeah, 10 miles today. Most importantly, I think 1 hour 46 of solid running, so that's quite good. And whereas last week, if you saw last week's video, I was kind of stopped to walk up any slopes because of recent events, which we won't talk about. This time I kept going, basically didn't stop. The only time I stopped was I think once I had to cross the road and I waited for the traffic. Seems like a good idea, self-preservation and all that. And I think I also had to stop and open a gate. But other than that, kept going the whole time. So I'm really pleased about that. That's a really good final long run. And I'm about as prepared as I can be, I guess. So this run really was a proper trial run for the run. And I kind of did everything that I kind of planned to do next week. So my attire, you know, obviously running clothes, but more than that, I got, you might be able to see, instead of my wireless earphones in, which I don't think the batteries are going to last the full distance, because it's another half an hour on top of what I just did now, probably. So yeah, so I've got some wired ones, I've tucked them into my shirt, and then down to my phone. Now the problem is, Apple in their infinite wisdom got rid of the headphone jack in iPhones quite some time ago, so I have to use an adapter in the bottom of the phone to plug my earphones in. And the problem is the adapter is quite a stiff cable that pokes out like that. So the bag that I normally use when I'm running, that my phone's really tight in there. It's one of these big phones and it's quite tight. So my wife said, oh, I've got a bag. She uses it when she goes cycling, and it's got a little thing that you can poke your headphones through, a little hole in a little rubber bung you can poke through, and that's worked really well actually. So my phone, again, is quite tight in here, but I've been able to poke the headphones out through that and then sort of up the shirt, and so that's quite good. That worked quite well. And also it's got a little pocket to put your drink in, which my bag hasn't got. I normally put a drink in my running shorts, because it actually stays in there okay. They're quite big pockets in my shorts, but it's better being in the bag, so I quite like this. Might have to pilfer it. She might regret lending me this, because I have a feeling she's not going to get it back. So that's really good. That's good, that, please. I also brought out those running gels again, the SIS one and a High Five. Again, as a sort of trial one, that's what I'll be using, I think, next week. So I wanted to kind of do it properly So I've kind of got to think about that really. I mentioned about practical things and the fact I've had a poorly dog and we don't want to leave her on her own. But actually, touch wood, she has really picked up actually over this last couple of weeks. The vets can't believe it, frankly. She was, I mean, we were told, I don't want to make this depressing, but we were told that she wasn't long for this world about a month ago, and that's kidney trouble. And miraculously, I mean, I don't know how long it's she's going to last, but I mean, she's pretty happy and she's eating again and she's skipping about, and yeah, we're very lucky actually to making the most of it. But I think my wife was saying, actually, I think she could probably be left on her own for long enough, because she'd love to come down and support me, which is really nice, and I'd like her support as well. It'd be great. So that's kind of what's going to happen now. She is going to come and support me for the run, which is great. And yeah, I'm sort of, that's kind of a practical thing out of the way, because I was looking into the bus transport and that they put on buses for the spectators and the runners as well. It's quite well organised, I have to say. So that was, of course, things could change at the last minute, and if they do, then I know how the buses work now, and I will use one of those if at the last minute she can't come for some reason, because you don't know what's going to happen. It's another week yet. Anyway, that is it. That is the warm-up, if you like, for the main event. Next week's video, I'm going to have one more run. I won't vlog that. I'm going to have one more run, just a short one midweek, to keep myself ticking over. Maybe you know, a bit like kicking the tyres, really kicking the running shoes, keep me going. And then, well, next week's video is going to be the event, so make sure you don't miss that. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit like if you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you for the main event next week.
She knocks her heels and crosses her heart and swallows all the tension and trusts all my intentions without a fight. I hope she's right. Natalie, try to see